Bourbon. Belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to a bonus episode of the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. We are here to give our predictions for Backlash. Happening in just a few hours. Here we got a fucking stacked card. I know we're both super excited about this card. And yeah, man, let's just fucking get into it.
Perfect.
What are we thinking? First matchup, we got Gunther versus Pat McAfee.
I at first thought Gunther was going to win this, but you talked about a couple episodes last week, where there might be interference, and I think you're right. So I think McAfee wins, and I like the idea of Gunther going through some turmoil.
Yeah.
To build himself back up. So Pat McAfee wins this.
I'm same. I said it last week. I think Pat McAfee wins it. I'm not necessarily putting anything, and I don't think you were either. I'm not like putting it on like an extra prediction of because of interference or anything. I just feel like it could happen. But I'm just saying I think Pat McAfee wins this because I think it'll drive home the just narrative of this kind of spiral for Gunther. Mm-hmm. And I think Pat McAfee wins this. And
I'm learning my lesson. No more bonus guesses.
Yeah, that fucked you at WrestleMania. I guess night 2 in general fucked you at WrestleMania, but
just really did.
All right, that brings us to the the Intercontinental Championship match between Dom and Penta.
Dom's got to win. Dirty Dom's got to win. He hasn't even defended it yet. This is his first.
I know.
Dom's going to win, but it's going to be a cool match.
I know. It is going to be a good match. I'm excited for the match. I'm really having I'm struggling here. I think this is like the one that I'm struggling with because I guess technically Penta didn't take the loss at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's fair. Balor took the L there. But I'm just kind of like in the two kind of biggest matches of Penta's very early career in WWE. Are they really gonna have him lose both times? You know what I mean? That's but also true. At the same time, like you just said, it's like Dom hasn't even defended it yet.
Yeah.
So are they gonna have him drop it in his first defense and kind of make the whole thing be a fluke? But fuck. I'm saying Penta wins.
Because of Judgment Day?
Because of Finn Balor.
I think when Penta you wins. Started talking, I was like,
I think Penta wins because of Finn.
And I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. So I guess I did just throw an extra thing in there. But
we could just say whatever. Penta wins and we'll give you a bonus point if we won't count it against you.
Okay.
All right. I like it.
Yeah. That brings us to the women's Intercontinental title match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch.
Now, this is the one I'm having the hardest time with because it could go either way.
I know, man. That's a tough one because it would 100% make sense for them to just keep it on Lyra and that just kind of be like that triumph over, the greatest to do it in the women's division. Yeah. And have just help build her, but it would also fully make sense for Becky to pull some heel shit and maybe this is where she aligns with Paul Heyman. I don't know. I'm just throwing an idea out, but it would make sense for her to pull some heel shit out in this fucking like really biggest heel run of her career, I would argue. Mm-hmm. It feels the most intense, at least, and the most real. And like I feel like it's an opportunity for sure for them to put the IC on Becky, which would be monumentous.
It would be good for the title too.
I don't think it would hurt Lyra either. No. That's the thing. So I'm going Becky. I'm saying Becky.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lyra on this one.
We're opposite back-to-back matches. Oh, that makes it intriguing though for us to watch Backlash tonight.
I think in my heart, I want Lyra to win because these last
I know it's been so good.
Have been so good for her.
I think,
but what you're saying
for me, I think Becky winning actually does more for that program.
I do,
because if Becky wins out of some heelish fucking shenanigans,
keeps it going.
It keeps it going, and that brings Lyra back into a potential fold for a second reign. But all right,
I'm gonna stick with Lyra.
All right, you're going Lyra. I'm going Becky. All right, that brings us to the fatal 4-way for the men's United States. I love that we have to specify between men's and women's for these mid-card titles now. We haven't really talked about that. I love that is like a thing now because that's just fucking awesome. Anyways, men's United States Fatal 4-way title match between LA Knight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and Jacob Fatu, the Samoan Werewolf. Ow! Jacob Fatu's going to dog walk their asses.
Is Jacob Fatu?
They can't have Jacob lose in his.
No.
Well, this would be his first title defense also, too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, they can't fucking let Jacob lose this. Unless this is where Solo betrays him and fucks him. I'm not counting on that tonight though.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Jacob retains.
God.
And if I will throw this out as a bonus, if Jacob does lose the title tonight, he ain't getting pinned. He ain't the one taking the L.
No.
But
sure.
I don't see it happening. I feel like some shit leads to one thing and will push to just a straight McIntyre Jacob Fatu feud further down the road.
Which taking you through the card, taking us through the card. There's so much that can happen in each match.
I know.
There's just so many different intricacies going on.
There's
right
so
now,
many things,
which is really cool.
Why this is honestly one of the best PLE cards that we've had in a while.
Yeah,
because of that exact thing. Like all of the stories, every single match has heat.
Yeah.
And every single match, there are stakes here, and there is narrative, and there's agendas, and there's storylines to be pushed and propelled past just tonight.
And and it's external heats coming. Like it's not even things happening in the match. There's Solo. There's Finn Balor.
Yep. And in some cases, it's Latino heat.
Yep.
Anyway, legit Dom Mysterio.
I love his new shirt.
I know. I love everything about Dirty Dom, man. All right. And finally, that brings us to the main event of the night, which will be the greatest of all time, Randy Orton, taking on the GOAT, John Cena.
Could be an end of an era tonight, too.
Could be an end of an era, man, for sure.
I say John Cena.
I'm saying Cena. I'm saying Cena too.
Continuing to ruin wrestling for us.
Yeah, and it makes sense to just for him to keep pushing this and in the heel thing and whatnot. I've already aired my grievances with where this is taking or the timing of this taking place.
Yeah,
I hope the match delivers. That's my main thing. Is I hope the match is as like it holds a candle to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number fucking, what'd you say is 13 and 7, so 13, 20.
Yeah, 20.
You know, like every single match they've had has been a fucking banger. I hope 21 just lives up to it.
Yeah.
You know, like in 25 years later, let's put a fucking show on. And no matter the outcome, I just that's what I'm hoping for, is that it's an end of an era on the highest possible note, like we got with The Undertaker and Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that's the biggest thing here, is just making sure that it's they do what they do the best that they do it in this final moment. And I do think Cena's winning just because of where it's all at in the reign and the storyline and everything. So yeah.
All right. That's our predictions. We'll be back post-show to give our thoughts, our results, and the 3 bells, and see the fallout of Backlash. See what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. All right, and we are back now with the post-show to Backlash. Doing our little post-show follow-up here, go over the results, go over our predictions, how well we did, and our thoughts, and give our three bells rating.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, first up, we had our fatal four-way for the Men's United States Championship. We had LA Knight, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, and Jacob Fatu retains.
Yeah, it was a banger of a match.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was hard hitting. It was everything we wanted. And then we get a surprise signing. Jeff Cobb from New Japan is now an ally of Solo or it doesn't look like of Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, I don't know.
He looks confused as all hell right now.
He looks confused. He looks stunned and a little unsure of the situation for sure. So,
and it looks like Drew and Damian Priest are going to continue their thing because they took themselves out of the match.
Yeah,
completely.
Totally. The brutal south of heaven outside off one of the big equipment boxes through a couple tables.
That table swung up and hit Drew in the
or Damian Priest, like I'm pretty sure it hit him in the mouth. Like he was bleeding from the mouth. I'm assuming that's what that was from. That looked brutal. We also had a fucking dope sequence where Drew McIntyre was suspended upside down on the turnbuckle, and Jacob Fatu was up on the turnbuckle, and then LA Knight came up, but Jacob Fatu pushed him off, and then Jacob Fatu's trying to get his footing right to do something off the top rope, and then up comes Drew McIntyre, sits up belly to belly off the top rope into a swanton from Jacob to LA Knight. Jacob lands, pretty much rolls perfectly up onto his feet, hits the corner, turns, and just running hip thrust back to Drew McIntyre in the corner. Off of that to the ropes, back across the ring into a suicide dive out to fucking Damian Priest across the announce table. It was a wild sequence. That man is absolutely on fire. And I mean, you said it during the match at the one point. That's the future. Yeah. Like, he is the future of this company.
The big thing
and
right there. It's so good. He's got the mic. He got the in-ring work. He got an aura around him.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of like we literally, and we're going to get to this here, but we literally just watched a match between two guys that were, they, kind of said like end of an era potentially type thing.
Yeah.
And like two guys that we've grown up watching, right? And then you get like, I kind of feel like we're in the midst of seeing this, like the beginning of this for two guys on separate shows that are both being pushed, and that's Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, and like they're both just so charismatic. They're both so good in the ring. I feel like we're turning that chapter into a new landscape.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think you're right on with that. So, yeah,
man.
Great match, great opening.
Yeah. I'm happy they started with that.
We are 1 for 1 on that result.
I don't even want to keep track. Moving on to our next match, we had the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch.
Now,
and
you said during our predictions that match could steal the show. And
it did.
I think it lived up to the hype.
Yes.
And the night was full of great stuff. That match was incredible. They tore down the house. It just had everything. So the building up to this match that we've been talking about on our past week's episodes of how good it's been, it paid off in this match, and I don't think it's over either. Yeah,
for sure. No, I 100% agree. I don't think it's over either, especially with the immediate post-show or post-match beatdown of Lyra. And it looked like, I couldn't tell if it was nose or eye or whatever she got there at the end, but like whatever it was, like actually got Lyra. I don't think that was just a sell, because like she was holding her face multiple points throughout the remainder of that, like during the pin.
Yeah.
Which is why I kind of was like, that was awkward, because she's like just holding one arm on one leg and just like holding her face like this.
Yeah.
Which kind of just made the finish a little awkward to me. But outside of just that, like literally just that, and I think Lyra had like a couple hesitations for things in the match that we were both kind of like, what are you doing? Yeah. Outside of that, the match was fucking awesome. It was great. Like we said, like it pushed for stealing the show. Yeah. But it was an all around solid PLE. So didn't quite get there, but it definitely lived up to everything, and it held its own on the stacked card. So
yeah, it did. So Lyra retains. So that makes me 2 for 2. You 1 for 2.
Yep. 1 for 2.
I did see it your way though. I thought for sure, hey, it could go that way, and it looked like it was about to.
Yeah.
Lyra was pulling it off.
Yep.
Holy hell,
and she did it. Yeah. All right, that brings us to the men's Intercontinental Championship match between Dirty Dom and Penta, and we got, with some shenanigans, we got a returning. Yeah, shenanigans galore for sure. We got Judgment Day interfering, all getting banned from ringside. Then you get Balor coming back up in to try to re-interfere, and the ref gets preoccupied, and then lo and behold, out comes El Grande Americano.
Large coffee.
Yep, fucking large coffee. And comes out, gives old Penta the headbutt. You can only assume he probably had the steel plate in the head, and Dirty Dom hits the frog splash and picks up the victory. Yeah. Dirty Dom retains.
Definitely a solid match. We knew there's going to be some interference. I think it could have had less, but that's not Dirty Dom's character, so I get it. And,
I mean, you said you love his new shirt.
I do. Latino cheat.
Latino cheat.
And it makes sense. It fits for him, but I was kind of hoping you were right about the whole Finn Balor turning on.
I know. I was hoping it was going to fucking happen. They're teasing the shit out of this. They're long playing. Yes, they're long playing the ever-living fuck out of this. And they really just need to pull the trigger here. They need to pull the trigger with Solo. Let's just fucking do this so that these guys can move on out of these angles. Yeah. But that puts Tim at 3 for 3. That puts me at 1 for 3.
Solid.
Yeah, like doing real good over here with my predictions. I felt fucking good about them too. That's the irritating thing.
I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a repeat for me. It falls right into my wheelhouse, but no, it's going backwards.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to the penultimate match. Wouldn't be right without one. We had Gunther versus Pat McAfee here. What were you gonna say?
This match was fun.
It was great.
It was nothing like incredible by any means, but it had the emotion in it. Michael Cole definitely was selling it on the announcing.
Absolutely, commentary was great,
which really put this match over for me. And we were talking about it. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, just a little over 2 years.
McAfee last competed in the ring, and guy showed out. I mean, there was some spots where I was like, oh, he could have hit Gunther a little harder, but
he's not a wrestler.
But he's not
either, right?
He's not an everyday wrestler, man.
Yeah.
Again, it was more about the story behind it and what could happen, and I'm a big Gunther fan, and I was pulling for a Gunther loss here, and it just didn't happen. I wanted the downfall of Gunther.
I know. I did too. I thought it, like we said on the predictions, and I said on last week's episode, I think Gunther taking an L here could have actually done wonders for his character in the future. We'll see how it goes and how it plays out, because we did get a kind of difference at the end, right? There was that kind of show of respect between Gunther and McAfee too, so that's not something you would expect from Gunther. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out and what happens, but yeah.
So we both
went Pat. So I'm 1 for 4 and you're 2 for 4. 3 for 4. Sorry, 3 for 4. 3 for 4. I'm 1 for 4. Fucking just rocking it. Doing so good. And that brings us to the main event.
John Cena versus Randy Orton.
25 years in the making. Another one. I can't help it, man.
It's that time of night.
The man's got a yawn. Man, and it doesn't matter what time of the fucking day it is, apparently. It's when there's a microphone in front of me, I yawn. I teach. I'm a teacher. And I talk in front of people all day long. I don't yawn, like, ever. I like never yawn at school. I save it all for the show. But yeah, we get Randy Orton for John Cena for the WWE Championship, and
this match was great.
It was awesome.
It was just solid all around. This definitely took overthrew what they did at WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes and John Cena.
Yeah, absolutely.
Garbage compared to this one, and we talked about it during the match, but Randy Orton and John Cena just have unbelievable chemistry.
Right, unmatched almost. Like they are the last 20 years generation of Rock Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just. Every time they get into the ring, they put on a fucking clinic, and they did it again. I mean, this is, Cena's only wrestled a handful of times since he's been back, and only wrestled, a handful of times realistically over the last few years. And so for him to be able to come out and still put on a show like that against Orton, and honestly make it kind of look seamless and make just like they never lost a step, and like everything was good, and it was just all around, it was solid. I had said on the predictions, I was just like, regardless who wins, I just want, because this is potentially, they're billing it as the last time.
Yeah.
Whether it will be or not, we don't know, but I just said, like, I really just want it to be a good match.
Yeah.
Like, if this is the last match that we get between the two of these ever, I want it to be one that, like, we can, like, that we want to remember.
Yeah.
And one that, like, lives up to the 25 years of matches that we've had between these two. And I think it did. I truly do. I think they did it. I think they accomplished that feat, and it's one that will go into the books for sure.
I agree, and I think they hit the world's record for most finishers done in a match.
Which is always fun to see between guys like this, right? Like Rock Stone Cold did that shit all the time.
Yeah.
It was stunner, rock bottom, stunner, rock bottom. It was The Rock hitting a stunner, Stone Cold hitting a rock bottom. It was back and forth.
And it's those finishers that can happen so quickly.
Yeah.
RKO happens so quickly.
Yeah.
And John Cena gets people up for the FU. So
it's
easily.
real quick.
And we saw, I think, a record amount of people of them doing each other's finishers as well in this match.
Yeah, it was more so Orton hitting the FU, because I think Cena only hit the one RKO out of the.
Yeah, that's right.
Or sorry, Cena never hit a RKO.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah.
In this, yeah. Cena didn't hit an RKO.
We had a conversation about that.
Yeah, Orton hit the RKO out of the FU.
Yeah,
that was the first
so
finish
clean
attempt, which was reversed. Yeah. And then Cena hit 2 FUs, one on the announce table and the one through an actual table.
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool to see Cena taking those bumps, Orton hitting him with his own finisher and going through 2 different tables and bouncing off of one, and then those reinforced announce tables are impressive. Yeah, hey Paul, we'd like to get one for our show.
Send one our way.
Can you just I don't know. We know you listen. right? Can you just send us an announce table so that we can use it as our table for the podcast? We'd love it. Thank you. Anyways, but yeah, so we get Cena retaining with some multiple ref bumps throughout this. The original ref took 2, then
RKO to Nick Aldis, and then
the entire cast of goons that are out there with Nick Aldis. We got the one guy that I don't know exactly who it is, but then he hit one Hurricane, Jafari, Jamie Noble. I guess that was it. Yeah. Because it was all this, and then the dude with the hair that we don't know who it was, and then the other 3.
Yeah.
But then they all ate those fucking RKOs like champs. Every single one of them.
And then we got R-Truth saving his child.
That's right. I already forgot about that.
R-Truth came to the rescue right when we thought
we were gonna finally get a punt kick after it's been like 8 years since we've seen a punt kick.
He keeps teasing it.
I know, and nobody's letting us get it. And fucking R-Truth comes out, son of a bitch.
Damn day. All right, well that wraps up Backlash. So
yeah.
Any final thoughts on overall show?
I mean, I said it before it even started that this is like, I think, one of the most well planned PLEs that we've had in a while when it comes to narrative and storylines and, just all of those things, and for like the continued future storytelling that we're getting out of some of this. I feel like we wrapped up some loose ends, but then we also created more, which is, typically always a good thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it was a great PLE.
I agree. I think the card was stacked, and for how little time there was between Mania and Backlash, they put together very cohesive storyline for all the matches, and I'm excited to see where it goes from even here. They did a great job just kind of leaving closed but open at the same time, and so well done.
Yeah, and I mean, we said it on this week's episode too that they've just strung together, specifically Raw. They've just strung together just 3 straight weeks since Mania that have just been killer, just bangers. So, toasted, one might say, and
very toasted.
Yeah. So,
all right, that brings
3 bells.
To the 3 bells. I'm going 2.9 bells. I'm very close to 3 because I do think it was just overall very solid show. Just all the interference in the Penta and
the Dirty Dom
match, just kind of, it didn't do it for me. Like I think it was more because he planted that seed of Judgment Day, splitting up.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was having my hopes set on that, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because then it was just a typical Judgment Day match, So overall, I'm giving it a 2.9, very close to a 3 bell there.
I'm going 3 just because I feel like it would be an injustice to not give this one a 3 when it's for some of the other PLEs that we have given 3s out too. Yeah. Because I think this is the best PLE that we have seen in a long time. From start to finish, like I said, it just like so many things involved in it were just great. And there's the interference, but again, that is that narrative of that faction. That's what they do. That's kind of what you've come to expect. So, but they also did throw the swerve with Americano or El Grande Americano being the one that actually cost Penta the match. Yeah. So it, and then that pushes the narrative of American Made and Gable and El Grande Americano hating the Luchas and all that. And so I don't know. I didn't hate it. No, we didn't get the breakup, but still, for me, it didn't take anything away from it for me. So, I'm going 3 out of 3 bells there.
Would you consider Dirty Dom a luchador?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, he does the lucha style like moves. Very similar to a Rey Mysterio.
He does some.
But yeah.
He does some. I don't know that I would consider. I know. I just don't. I don't feel as though I would necessarily classify Dirty Dom as a true lucha.
Yeah.
But
all right, man.
That wraps us up.
That wraps up Backlash 2025.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
Let's fucking go.